Hi guys, so the topic that we are covering today is a topic from logical reasoning or general aptitude, and the name of the topic is direction sense. Direction sense is relatively a very easy topic, and there are a fixed type of questions. There are primarily 5 types of questions that appear in the exams, and we'll cover all those 5 types of questions in this session. Let's try to understand the basics of direction sense. So there are 4 major directions, which are north, south, east, west. So in terms of India, you can remember these directions as north being Kashmir, south being Tamil Nadu, east being Calcutta, and west being Gujarat. Right? So it would be easier to remember if you remember like this. And so these are the 4 primary directions. Anything here is northeast, this is southeast, this is southwest, and this is northwest. Right? Now suppose we have an angle northwest, south, east, and we have an angle here, let's say 30 degrees, and we are asked which direction is this. So this would be 30 degrees north of east. Right? So angle, we'll write the angle from the base direction, but base direction will be written at the end. So this is 30 degree north of east. Right? Let's say this was 60 degrees. So this would have been 60 degrees south of west. Right? If this was something like this, this was 30 degrees. In that case, this would have been 30 degrees east of north. I hope this is clear. This is a very simple concept. So let's try to do the types of questions that appear in the exam. So the first type of question from this topic is something like this, that A starts walking towards east from his house, and he walks 10 kilometers and then turns right. He walks for 5 kilometers before turning left, and then walks for 3 more kilometers. The question can be in 2 forms. It can be asked which direction is A from his house, or which direction is the house now. So let's try to make a chart of this question. And we know that directions are north, south, west, and east. So A starts walking towards E from his house. Let's say this is the house, and A starts walking towards east. He walks for 10 kilometers and then turns right. So from the perspective of A, if A is walking towards east and then he would turn towards right, he would be walking towards south. He walks 5 kilometers before turning left, and then he turns left again, and then he walks for 3 kilometers. Now in A part it is asked which direction is A from his house. So we'll have to consider his house as the central point now. So his house, which direction is A from his house? A is currently here, his house is here. So this direction is southeast. Right? So answer for this would be southeast. And which direction is the house now? Which direction is the house now means which direction is the house as compared to A now. So this direction is north west. Right, considering A as a central point, because from the perspective of A, the direction is asked down. So, house is in northwest direction. Northwest. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the second type of question. So this is the second type of question in which it is said that A starts walking towards east from his house. So I have based this question exactly on the first type of question. And A starts walking towards east from his house. He walks 10 kilometers and then turns right. He walks for 5 kilometers before turning left and then walk for 2 kilometers. How far is A from his house? So in this type of question, direction is not asked, but the distance between the initial point and the final point, or the displacement, is asked. So let's make the chart again. These are the directions. So A starts walking towards east from his house. This is the house. A starts walking towards east, walks for 10 kilometers, turns right, walks for 5 kilometers, and then turns left, walk for 2 kilometers. It is asked how far is A from his house, as in we need to calculate this distance, right? So what we'll do is we'll add the horizontal distance, the complete horizontal distance covered together and the complete vertical distance covered together. So this diagram will become 10 kilometers plus 2 kilometers in horizontal and 5 kilometers in vertical, right? Now we need to calculate this distance. So using Pythagoras, this is 12, this is 5. So this would be 12 square plus 5 square, 144 plus 25, 169, which is 30. Right? So both these types of questions, the first type and the second type, are on the easier side. So this is the third type of question in which a direction board on the road is damaged and north becomes northeast. Which direction will a person heading towards west go? So there is a direction board on a road. A normal direction road or a correct direction road would be north, south, east and west. So it has been damaged. There may be an accident or because of some reason it has been damaged and north has become northeast. This is northeast, southeast, southwest and northwest. So now north has become northeast. The board has tilted in such a way that north has come in this direction. So this would be south, this would be east, this would be west. Right? So the damaged board, this is the correct board, and this is the damaged board. Now this section would be northeast, this would be southwest, similarly southeast and northwest. So somebody who is going towards west will now go towards, because somebody who would be going towards west would refer to this board while heading towards west. And this board, if the person is heading towards west, this board will show the direction here, right? So the person will see this board and go towards west, while in actual he would be going towards northwest, right? So which direction will a person heading towards west go? So direction that a person heading towards west will go to northwest. So the answer would be northwest. So now the fourth type of question is, if A plus B means A is in the north of B A minus B means A is in the west of B. A divided by B means A is in the south of B. A into B means A is in the east of B. Which means this mathematical operation in terms of direction sense means this. So we are given a mathematical operation P plus Q divided by R into S, and we are asked which direction is P of S, or which direction of S is P, right? So what we'll do in this type of question is we'll just keep seeing what an operation means. So we'll start from the left and go towards right. There is no board mouse or anything in this. So we'll start from the left. There's P plus Q, which means P is in the north of Q, right? P is in the north of Q. So P is in the north of Q, right? Now Q divided by R, which means Q is in the south of R. So Q is in the south of R. So R can be either here or here somewhere. But Q is in the south of R. This is all we know. R into S means R is in the east of S. R has to be in the east of S. S has to be somewhere here, right, in the parallel of R. It can be here or it can be here also. So now we are asked which direction of P, which direction is P of S. P of S, right? So if R is here at this level, then P would be in northeast direction of S, right? But if R is above P, in that case P would be in the southeast direction, right? So this in this particular question, this cannot be determined that whether P is in the northeast direction or in southeast direction, but normally a question would have a specific answer. If in a question there is a situation like this where there may be multiple answers, then you would mark cannot be determined in the answer, or none of these if it is mentioned there. Or if you have a multiple answer question, like if there is a C option or D option in which it is mentioned that both A and B, or both A and C, or both B and D, then you can mark that also. But because we were not very clear in this case that whether R is above P or R is in the south of P, so in that case you will mark that it cannot be determined. But there would have been a simpler question also in which the answer would have been determined. For example, if R would have been in the south of Q, let's say if R was in the south of Q, somewhere here, and R was in the east of S, and S would have been here, so we could have directly determined that P is in the northeast direction of S, right? So this question can lead to an answer, may not lead to an answer, depends on the question in the question paper. So do this type of question very carefully and try to understand whether the answer can be arrived on or not. Now the last type of question is on the concept of shadow, and let's try to understand what is this concept. So shadow, we know that sun rises in the east, right? So in the morning, sun rises in the east, right? And in the evening, sun sets in the west, correct? So shadow of any object, any human being, any animal, in the morning or in the evening depends on the position of sun. Because in the morning sun is in the east, shadow of any object or any human being would be towards west, right? So this is a constant thing. In the morning, any shadow would be towards west, right? And in the evening, any shadow would be towards east. Towards east. During the afternoon, we assume that sun is over our head, and we assume that there is no shadow during the afternoon time. So only during the morning, the shadow would be towards the west, and in the evening, the shadow would be towards east. Now, the shadow would be in this particular direction, towards west or towards east, in the morning and evening respectively. But depending on how somebody is standing, if somebody is facing towards east or west or north or south, the shadow may fall towards their left, right, in front of them or at the back of them, right? So let's try to understand this also. So we'll start with the morning time. Now, during the morning, if somebody is facing north, right, A is standing here facing north. If A is facing north and shadow is towards west, right, so shadow is in the left of A, correct? So this can also be thought of as, if the direction of a shadow of an object is towards left, that object is facing north, right? If A would have been facing south, but the direction of shadow would have been west, that is a constant, in that case the direction of shadow would be in the right of A, right? So if I am facing south and my direction is in west, for me it would be in my right. In this case, shadow is in the right of it, correct? Now if A is facing west and shadow is also in the west, so A would be able to see his shadow in front of himself, right? So shadow will be in front of A, right? And similarly, if A is facing towards east, in that case the shadow would be in the west, so shadow will be at the back of A, right? So A would not be able to see his shadow, it would be at his back. Similarly, I hope this is clear, right? Similarly, during the evening time, when it's evening and sun is in the west, any shadow would be in the east. Now if A is facing towards north, we know that the shadow would be in the east, that is, shadow will be in the right of it, right? So all the directions will be reversed now. So if A is facing towards south, then shadow will be in the left of it. If A is facing towards west, in that case shadow will be at the back of it. If A is facing towards east, the shadow will be in front of it. Right? So now let's try to do a question now and from this topic, and try to understand how to approach a question and how to solve the question. Now this is the question. There's a fifth type of question on the shadow concept, and let's try to do this question. So now we are clear with one thing, that in the morning all shadows would fall towards west, and in the evening all shadows would fall towards east, right? So one morning A and B go for a walk, and while standing facing each other, A sees or observes a shadow of B on his right, right? So A sees a shadow of B on his right. Which direction is B facing? Right? So let's make this question more specific. And A sees a shadow of B on B's right. Correct? So what do we do now? A and B are facing towards each other, and A sees the shadow of B on B's right. B is standing somewhere and shadow of B is towards the west because it is the morning and the shadow would be on the west. But it is also on B's right. So it would be only possible that the shadow is towards B's right if B is facing towards south. Right? So if B is facing south, that is the only case when B's shadow would be towards its right. Or if we would have asked, we would have been asked in the question that which direction is A facing? So A is facing B, that means A is facing towards north. Right? So if this was a question in which A sees the shadow of B on A's right, suppose, in that case B would have been standing somewhere, its shadow would have been in the west. This is for sure, this is a constant, right? This shadow is towards A's right, so that means now A is facing towards south because shadow is in A's right, so B should be facing north. I hope this is clear. So try more question on this topic and let me know if you face any doubts.